discuss about the different types of channels in the digital communication. That is, first we will see what you meant by Rayleigh channel. We will see the details of this Rayleigh channel. So before that, we will see how the signals are transmitted from the transmitter to the receiver. So look at this picture. In this picture, the signal is transmitted from the tower, and from the tower all the signals are transmitted, but on their path there are some rays which are diffracted, then which are scattered, and in many ways. So the rays are scattered due to the mountains present in the path, and due to the houses present in the path there may be diffraction, and there are some scattering occurs. So all the scattered signals, then diffracted signals, and other disturbed signals only will be transmitted to the will be received by the receiver. So due to this there occurs fading. So what do you mean by fading? Fading occurs due to multiple paths between the transmitter and the receiver. For example, two paths between the transmitter and the receiver with approximately the same delay and amplitude but in the opposite phase, that is 180-degree phase shift, will cause the signal amplitude to be essentially zero. So in this figure we can see that first the signal is transmitted directly to the receiver, that is, that path is called as direct path, and another one is called as multi-path, that is, the signal can be scattered or it can be diffracted by many ways, and then it will be received by the receiver. Now we'll see some of the challenges of the communication system over fading channels. So there are some sources of noise which degrade the system performance. For example, the additive white Gaussian noise AWGN, example thermal noise. And next is the man-made and natural noise. And another thing is due to the interferences. And the next important point is the band limiting filters which induces the ISI effect. And the last one is the radio channel which results in the propagation loss. So there are two causes under this. One is the signal attenuation versus distance over the free space, and another one is the multipath fading. It will cause fluctuations in the received amplitude, phase, and angle of the arrival. There are three different types of fading. They are large scale fading, medium scale fading, and small scale fading. So what do you mean by large scale fading? The average signal power attenuation per path loss due to the motion over large areas are called as the large scale fading. And the second one is medium scale fading. That is, the local variation in the average signal power around the mean average power due to the shadowing by the local obstructions. So this is due to the shadowing by the local obstructions. And the third type of fading is called as small scale fading. Large variations in the signal power due to small changes in the distance between the transmitter and the receiver is called as small scale fading. It is also called as Rayleigh fading when no LOS available. It is called Rayleigh fading due to the fact that various multipaths at the receiver with the random amplitude and delay add up together to render the Rayleigh PDF for the total signal. Now we'll see the Rayleigh fading mechanism. The Rayleigh fading manifests in two mechanisms. One is the time spreading and another one is the time variant. So what is meant by time spreading? It is due to the multipath. It is also called as time dispersion. The second is called as time variant. It is due to the behavior of the channel due to the motion and subsequent changes in the propagation path. Now we'll see the definition for the Rayleigh fading or Rayleigh fading channel. It is a statistical model for the effect of the propagation environment on a radio signal such as that used by the wireless devices. The Rayleigh fading models assume that the magnitude of the signal that has passed through such a transmission medium, that is also called a communication channel, will vary randomly or fade according to a Rayleigh distribution. The radial component of the sum of the two uncorrelated Gaussian random variables, that is called as Rayleigh fading. And now we'll see Rayleigh and Riccian channels. So due to this fading, there are two channels, they are called as Rayleigh and Riccian channels. The response at a particular delay or time being Gaussian is a consequence of the assumption that there are a large number of paths at a given delay with independent phases, which contribute to the overall response at that delay. When the channel response is a complex Gaussian random variable, then the envelope of the response has a Rayleigh distribution. This is known as Rayleigh faded channel. So the Rayleigh faded channel which is having the Rayleigh distribution. If there is a strong direct path between the transmitter and the receiver, then the filter H will have non-zero mean. In this case, it is called as Riccian faded channel. So in this video, we will see the details of the Rayleigh channel. So first we will see what is meant by Rayleigh fading. The Rayleigh PDF, that is the probability density function, is given by P of R, which is equal to R by sigma square exponential of minus R square by 2 sigma square for R is greater than 0. 0 otherwise, where R is the envelope amplitude of Rx signal and 2 sigma square is the power of the signal. So this is the Rayleigh distribution for the different values of sigma. For sigma is equal to 0.5, 1, 2, 3 and 4 respectively. So this is the envelope for the Rayleigh fading. So here you can see that this is the Rayleigh faded signal and this is the due to the shadow fading, and this is for the path loss. And this is the Rayleigh fading waveform envelope. Now we can see we have already discussed the average bit error probability. These are the formulas for the average bit error probability. Now see the error performance due to the Rayleigh faded channel and due to the channel with the additive white Gaussian noise. So here this graph shows three different curves. One is for AWGN and another one is for the flat fading and slow fading with the Rayleigh's limit, and the third one is for the frequency selective fading. So here we can see a drastic variations for this probability error for the three cases. That is, our aim is to transit the performance from awful category to a bad curve. Then it is possible to approach AWGN. But if the channel introduces signal distortion as a result of fading, no amount of EB by N0 will achieve the desired performance. So we must use forms of mitigation to reduce or remove the signal distortion. Mitigation method depends whether the distortion is caused by frequency selective or fast fading. So this is the bit probability for the BPSK with the Rayleigh fading. So the comparison graph shows the bit error probability rate for AWGN and the Rayleigh's fading. So in the graph we can analyze that for high E by N naught, the error probability decreases inversely linearly with the signal to noise ratio. So in order to achieve the error probability of 10 power minus 5, require a signal to noise ratio of 43 dB, whereas in additive white Gauss noise, the required signal to noise ratio for the same error probability is only 9.6 dB. Thus, fading causes a loss in signal to noise ratio of 33.4 dB. Now you can see in the graph the error probability for the Rayleigh's fading with non-coherently detected BFSK. So here also we can see there is an increase of 33.6 dB in the signal to noise ratio needed for 10 power minus 5 error probability when Rayleigh's fading is present. And this is the simple error probability for M-ARRI orthogonal signaling with the Rayleigh's fading for M is equal to 2, 32 and infinity. So here also we can see the drastic variations. So here we can say that for different M, the time bandwidth product of the modulation changes. If the time is kept constant, then larger M implies larger bandwidth. The assumption that the signal is frequency non-selective over the larger bandwidth should be reconsidered. If the channel becomes frequency selective, then not all of the signal will fade simultaneously. On the other hand, there will be some indecibel interference from the frequency selectivity. Thus, careful analysis of the effect of frequency selectivity will be discussed after considering a spread spectrum waveform. Thank you.